Hello, welcome to Looking at Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I am your host, Shane Price, joined once as always by Jayden Ginswater. Jayden, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I think I'm all right too. Today we're going very, very, very far back to 84 and 87 um, to the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes. So we are doing two shows at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. The first show is Georgia Championship Wrestling. The second show is Mid Atlantic. We're doing them just because we thought it'd be for fun. There are a couple shows that are on the WWE Vault on YouTube, so they're easy to find and watch. And we had nothing else to do this week. So our first show is Georgia Championship Wrestling. We're finally doing GCW, Shane.
Shut up. We'll hit the real GCW. We'll hit the real GCW at some point, probably.
Yeah. And actually, a fun thing, when I first heard about Game Changer Wrestling, I just saw it referred to as GCW. And I thought someone had revived this GCW as an indie at first. And then I found out more about what it was, that it was called Game Changer, that it was a different thing. But there was like probably a couple weeks where I thought that this had been revived, and that's what the current GCW was. So this show happened on February 26, 1984, in front of 3,500 people, like we said, in the Omni Coliseum. There's no commentary on these shows, and this one goes for about an hour 47.
I believe they're house shows in a way.
Okay.
So do you want to start with the one from 84 or from 87?
Let's start with 84. Let's just go in chronological. I watched them the other way around, but we'll go
Okay.
chronological.
We'll start with the first match. Pez Waitley,
I think it's Watley, maybe?
whatever, versus Jesse Barr.
Um, this was an okay opener. I gave it 2 3/4. It's nothing much to talk about. Just some classic
Thought,
84
yeah,
kind of deal.
thought it was all right. Pez, it's his real name, by the way, Pez.
Pez, that's pretty awesome.
Because his full name is Pezavon,
Huh.
which is pretty cool.
Is he like some sort of sorcerer? What kind of name is Pezawan? Whatever you just said.
His name, he actually was in the 95 and 96 World War III events.
Really?
And was in the UWFI.
Oh, of course he was.
All right, man. Well, cool. Good to know. Also a Hall of Famer in WWE. I gave it 2. I thought it was all right for a good opener. Running knee, loved that. It was loud. I thought it was straight out of current day and not the 84.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he was all right. Up next is the Spoiler versus Johnny Rich.
Dude, this match was awesome. The
I'm
fucking
looking up to
spoiler
find
is
out
like,
who the hell the Spoiler is.
he's like 7 feet tall, and he was like walking on the ropes. Like, not very far, but he was walking on the ropes. Like, he was proto Undertaker. He was awesome. And then it was just an insane brawl these guys had. Like, I thought they were actually trying to like knock each other out. Like it was a UFC fight almost. These guys went at each other.
Craziest part of this, by the way, the Spoiler started wrestling in 1955.
He'd been wrestling for like 30 years at this point?
Apparently.
Holy shit, dude. So he was
Apparently.
huge,
Who'd he face
old,
in New
and
Japan?
walking on the ropes?
Wait.
What are you?
Wait. Hold on, man. Give me 1 second.
Oh, also, the Spoiler was his man. He was managed by Paul Ellering.
Okay, yeah, that's his. He was Super Destroyer in All Japan Pro Wrestling in the 70s.
And he was Super Destroyer in New Japan in 1980 also.
And he also lost his mask to Bret Hart.
Dude, he wrestled against Riki Chosu in Saiji Sakaguchi, teaming with the Iron Sheik in New Japan in 1980.
We need to discover one of our boys.
I guess, maybe.
Is the spoiler one of our dogs?
This guy, he rules. He was awesome.
What'd you give it?
I give it 4 stars.
I gave this 2 3/4. I thought the spoiler did rule,
Yeah,
but
and
I
Johnny
thought
Rich
that
was
was
really good too.
I thought it was pretty average, and I wanted to see more of the spoiler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Next, we have Ted DiBiase versus Tommy R. Wait, no, yeah,
Mr. R.
Mr. R. It's Tommy Rich.
Yeah, it's Wildfire Tommy Rich. This was an okay match. It was nothing special. Definitely before both these guys really found their footing and came into their own as wrestlers. I think they're both much better in the late 80s, early 90s. But this was pretty good. I gave it 2 3/4.
I gave it 2.5. It was all right. Keeping it going here with just all right. Les Thornton versus Tommy Rogers for the NWA Junior Heavyweight title.
Yeah, this I know they're both definitely like way bigger than Jonathan Gresham, but like compared to the rest of the wrestlers we watch in these two shows, this was like watching 2 Jonathan Greshams. You know what I mean? Like they were just kind of small and compact, but still super muscular. This was for the NWA Junior Heavyweight title. I thought it had a really exciting start and a really exciting end. It kind of died in the middle for me, though. I gave it 3 stars. I had a fun time with this one.
Gresham is 5 inches shorter than both of them.
Yeah, exactly. I knew they would be way bigger than him. It's just comparatively to the rest of the wrestlers on this card and on the next card too. They just felt very small.
Yeah, I agree with
They were
that.
doing they were doing a little bit of athletic stuff. There were some good drop kicks and stuff like that. Some arm drags in this match I liked, and yeah, so I thought this was pretty good.
Would you give it?
3.
I gave it 2. Just me below average. I would like to see a little more wooey wowie, I guess. They'll put it in a weird way. But it works. It's not bad. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then our favorite Soviet, Nikolai Volkov versus Wahoo McDaniel.
Yeah. This one was pretty boring, honestly. It had a DQ finish. Definitely not either man's best. I think they definitely both. They were both very good wrestlers. It's something didn't click this night, and it wasn't very good. I just gave it 2 stars.
I gave it 1 3/4. It was pretty whatever.
Yeah.
Then
Go ahead.
Then the TV title match: Jake Roberts, champion, with Paul Ellering versus Ron Garvin, who has a very weird promo about Tully Blanchard.
Yeah. Tiny Jake the Snake is off-putting.
I don't like his gear either. It looked like he was just a guy out of the crowd.
Yeah, but I could look at him and see, yeah, that's Jake the Snake Roberts. But he was just so much smaller than I'm used to him being at this time. This was a really good match with well-built drama. I'm not even like mad at the interference because it was done so well. I think they did it in a pretty good way. I ended up giving this 4 stars.
I gave it 3 3/4. That was all right. Pretty good match overall. Crowd loved it. They sold the arm and the rib pretty well. I like that too. But I just feel like there was more of this, and obviously we're watching a house show, so there's obviously gonna be more of this. I feel like there's more of this to come, and I kind of want to see where that goes. Speaking of kind of want to see where this goes, the tag team of the Road Warriors versus King Kong Bundy and Stan Hansen.
Yes, for the NWA tag team titles. I thought this was a solid match. It kind of just devolves into a brawl at the end,
which is exactly what I want from the Road Warriors.
And Stan Hansen,
and Stan Hansen, yeah.
Yeah, so I gave this 3 1/4. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. I had a good time. I know I'm one of the world's biggest Road Warriors haters, but we have them in the second show. I'll give my Road Warriors thoughts after we've talked about both matches, because I do have some Road Warriors thoughts to get to on this episode.
Hey, listen, I'm all for a good Stan Hansen beat the fuck out of you kind of match. I gave us a 3 3/4.
All right.
Then the final contest of the night. Ric Flair, the world champion, versus Brad Armstrong.
Dude, these guys were both so good in 1984. These guys were incredible.
It is kind of incredible how just different this is from like the mid card and like the early card to this.
Oh yeah, it's a huge jump. I mean, I would say the Jake the Snake match was. I give a couple matches I thought were almost as good as this, but this is something different. It's crazy to me that Road Dogg is related to Brad Armstrong. Like it's in my brain can't compute that those two people are related, because Brad Armstrong is so fucking good too.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah, Brad Armstrong.
You better call somebody.
And Flair was great. This was an incredible match. If you go back and watch one match from either of these shows, this is the one you should go watch. This is a fucking wrestling match right here. I give it 4.5 stars.
Can you believe that it is that somehow Brad Armstrong was never a world heavyweight title holder?
That's crazy. That is insane. He's so good. So good.
And he didn't retire until like right before he died of cancer? Undisclosed medical issue. But he didn't retire until like the year before.
That's awesome.
Wrestling house shows for ECW in 2006.
Wait, did you say ECW as in Extreme Championship Wrestling?
As in WWE ECW.
Yeah, I know. As in WWE's version of Extreme Championship Wrestling. Brad Armstrong was wrestling in those?
Apparently, I'm going to pull up a cage match and find out.
Let me see here. Brad Armstrong. Career. You said what year? 2006?
2006.
Yeah, he wrestled until 2011.
Stevie Richards and Eric Perez, better known as Eric Escobar.
Huh, he wrestled 7 matches on ECW house shows. What the hell? That's crazy. I wonder who was his last match against. Let's see here. Kyle Matthews, who's just an unknown guy. What's his last interesting match? Let's see what we got here. He teamed with Ricky Morton a couple times in 2010.
Versus Chris Hamrick?
Versus Chris Hamrick? Who's that?
You know the jobber who would always like fly through the ropes?
No, I don't.
I think that's him. If I'm wrong,
did Chris Hamrick Swinger in 2010?
Chris Hamrick was the guy in ECW who wore the Confederate shorts, the Confederate pants.
Okay.
With Easy Money and Julio De Niro.
Okay. He wrestled Dennis Condrey in 2007. It's insane that either of them were wrestling in 2007. Dude. In 2007, at DSW Park Slam, Dave Taylor, Finlay, and William Regal versus Brad Armstrong and the Majors brothers, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers.
That
Cardona teamed with Brad Armstrong.
That match does not feel real.
Yeah, no, shouldn't be real. I
Because
don't know how
wait,
that happened.
do you know who else is on that card? I just looked.
Oh, I didn't look at the card. Let me click on this DSW Park Slam. That's Six Flags.
I'm waiting for you to read it.
I see some Mike Knox. I see some Natty Neidhart. Johnny Curtis.
Brian Cage.
Brian K. I just saw that. Also, some TJ Wilson on here. Wow,
Do you know Brian Cage went to a dark match against Jimmy Wang Yang and Shannon Moore?
It's crazy. Ray Gordy is on here.
At WWE Vault release the dark match with Brian Cage.
Ray Gordy is Jesse from Jesse and Festus.
Oh yeah, he is Terry Gordy's son, isn't he?
Alpha Junior's on here. Johnny Curtis, like I said, that's Fandango. Team with Robert Ego Anthony. I'm trying to see if any of these other people I know. Taylor Wilde was on this as Chantel. Angelina Love was on this as Angel Williams. What is it? Who's freaking Deacon? Doc Gallows was on this as freaking Deacon.
He would be known as freaking Deacon,
and
wouldn't he?
Teamed with Tyrus as G-Rilla.
How long did they stash Brodus Clay in developmental thinking, this guy's going to work? Believe me, this guy's going to work.
What the hell? Yeah, WWE Vault released Deep South Wrestling Park Slam from Six Flags over Georgia in front of 300 people. All right, you want to get on to the second show?
Yes, we will. The next show,
Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling from February 1st, 1987,
with
in front of 4,500 people in the Omni Coliseum in Atlanta, Georgia. This show runs about an hour, and the version on the WWE Vault is missing the main event. I could not find footage of the main event anywhere. I looked around. So it's everything but the main event, which sucks because it's Flair and Barry Windham, which I think probably would have been really good.
I assume. We'll start with the first match. The first match, our champion, Bill Dundee, takes on Dutch Mantel, who I did not know wrestled.
Yeah, I knew he wrestled. What I did not know is that he was billed from Kansas. And normally, I love a good Kansas connection, but we do not claim Dutch Mantel. He was not born here. He is not from here. I do not claim this connection.
Oh, damn, okay.
This match was short and simple. It was nothing special. I'm going to go 2.5 stars on it.
I gave it 2. A little disappointed that they come out and say this is a non-title match for a title that would have been a really fun title to review a match of.
What title is that?
The Central States title, dude.
Oh, it's a Central States title? I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. It would have been fun to review that because of who's held that.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been to the current version of Central States Wrestling a couple times, too.
Yeah.
You want to get on to the next match?
Jimmy Garvin versus Bob Armstrong.
Jimmy Jam Garvin.
Jimmy Jam, it's whatever.
Versus Bullet Bob Armstrong. This was an insanely short match, which is really disappointing for wrestlers of this caliber. These guys are both really good wrestlers. So it was super disappointing because it was just a short match. I gave it 1 star. I was not happy.
It feels like
I want to see Bullet Bob and Jimmy Jam have a real wrestling match.
What'd you give it again?
1.
Okay, I gave it like half. So I'm glad we're in agreement here.
Yeah.
Next up is more Brad Armstrong action. Arn Anderson versus Brad Armstrong.
And by 87, dude, Brad was over like Rover. He got such a huge pop in this one. I didn't notice it as much in the 84 one, I think it's probably because he was wrestling Flair, and Flair was the man. But he was so over for this one. This was a pretty solid, hard-hitting match. I liked it quite a bit. It had an interference finish that took away from it a bit for me, but I gave it 3.25.
I gave it a 3. This is really good. I'm really liking this Brad Armstrong guy. I tell you what.
Yeah, Brad Armstrong's really good. I really like him. Him
Next
and the
match.
spoiler are definitely the finds of this Omni thing we're doing here for me.
The next match is Tully Blanchard, the World Television Champion, versus Wahoo McDaniel for the TV title and $10,000.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if you looked like if you punched in the numbers
Oh, I didn't think to do this. Usually
in
I
the inflation calculator, but I'm about to.
love
So
a good
give me a
inflation calculator.
second.
$1994.
$29,000.
Damn.
So we're doing a 30K match here when
Wow.
TK is giving out 400K.
Yeah,
That's the real inflation right there.
yeah.
So we're on a house show. We're doing 30K.
Yeah, 30K on a house show, 400K on TV. This was a pretty good match. I liked it. I gave it 3. Nothing crazy. Just a pretty solid wrestling match.
Yeah, I think it's all right. Tully didn't need the 10K. I'll be real.
Mm-hmm.
Nor did McDaniel. About going to assume.
Yeah, I'm sure they were
But it was all right.
both fine.
I gave it 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Ron Garvin and Robert Gibson versus the Midnight Express.
Yeah, Ricky Morton must have been out for some reason. He must have been injured or something. This was old school wrestling. I really liked this. This was a really good match. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was really good. Just exactly what you want out of an 87 Mid-Atlantic show. Like just what I was going in for. And it was an elimination match too, which was fun. Like I said, I gave it 3.5 stars.
You are aware of who the other manager for the
Midnight's?
Jesus Christ, the Midnights was. You know who that is, right?
It was Luger, right?
No, it was fucking Big Boss Man.
Oh, it was. Yeah, Luger was with Arn Anderson earlier. Yeah, it's Big Bubba Rogers. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I just didn't write it down. I forgot to. But yeah. Big Bubba Rogers, Big Boss Man. And then next match.
Dusty and Nikita Koloff versus Ivan Koloff and Vladimir Petrov.
Yeah, this match didn't even start. I gave it no rating. It never even really technically happened.
Yeah, this is cool. Good for them. Then we get the last match of the night.
Mm.
The Road Warriors, and they take on Rick Rude and Manny Fernandez for the World Tag Team titles.
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, I was going to have more Road Warriors thoughts. They were actually pretty good at this time in 87 and going back to the 84 one. They were actually pretty good. I think in the 90s, they became much more action figure-y, maybe just with age. They also definitely got bigger in the 90s. Like they were definitely juicing more. And that could have affected it. They felt like actual wrestlers on these shows and not just action figures. Like I've said before, this was probably their peak as wrestlers, the mid 80s, actually in the ring. And this was a pretty good match. It also could be credit to they had pretty great opponents in this match. Fernandez and Rick Rude were both really good in this. I really liked them. DQ finish took some away from it, but I thought it was pretty good overall. I gave it 3 stars.
I gave it 2 3/4, and I was all right. But then we get to our categories, or would you rate the show out of 10? I should say.
What?
Would you rate them out of 10?
Each show separately?
I figured we did that. We did that for AAA.
Okay.
So if you want to do the same thing for this one, it's fine. But it's up to you.
Each show separately out of 10. It's hard for the second show because it's like missing the main event and stuff.
Let's do both of them together then. What'd you give
Okay, we'll do that
as
at
a
the end.
collective? These shows out. Okay, do it at the
We'll do
end.
that at the end. Yeah.
So we'll start with categories then. Let's
All
best
right.
moment.
Best moment. I don't really know if there was like a single moment that stood out to me. It was just a pretty good overall. I don't know, maybe the spoiler going up to the ropes. I wasn't expecting that. That was pretty awesome. I could give that best moment, I guess.
I'm gonna give best moment to whatever the fuck Brad Armstrong was doing in both of those matches.
Yeah.
I guess
MVP
I'll
is
be
Brad
MVP.
Armstrong.
Yeah, definitely Brad Armstrong.
Heat check.
Is it the
Uh,
spoiler?
Probably the spoiler. Yeah, we'll go the spoiler. Gear of the night also goes to the spoiler. He had some pretty awesome gear. Could also go to Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Apex Mountain. I think as in ring guys, I do think this era was kind of the apex of the Road Warriors. Like I said, I think this also could be considered around the apex of Ric Flair, just like 84 to 87. The mid 80s, kind of getting into the late 80s, was probably some of the best work of his career. I don't know anybody else that you'd want to shout out.
Um, I see. Of course, you said Brad Armstrong. Rick Rude.
Mm-hmm. I think he's
Um,
probably a little better in the early 90s for me.
I think he's just as good here.
Yeah, that's fair. Surprise of the show, I think, goes to Brad Armstrong. I was not expecting to like him so much. He was great. The spoiler also. Both of those guys were kind of the breakout guys of this. Recasting, if we were to do like a Flair Armstrong recasting, I would say this is like established champion versus a guy who you really feel like is ready to break out but hasn't won the title yet.
Yeah.
Like, would you want to go Hangman with it? Would you want to go Cody with it? They're both pretty established as world champions.
We'll go Cody.
Okay, he has a lot of flair to him. I see that. I like that as a comp. Brad Armstrong. Brad Armstrong. Who did he remind me of?
In '84, I want to say Daiki Nagai.
Okay. Okay. For me, I was getting. Oh,
Or I'm sorry, Nagai. My bad.
yeah. I feel like there's somebody. It's just not like coming to me. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely somebody on my mind. Just can't figure out. I can't place who. Um, that I feel like is ready to break out, and Brad Armstrong reminded me of a little bit. I should have wrote it down. Um, from the current wrestling landscape. I don't know. I can't remember. Can't remember who I was trying to think of. But I don't know. I don't know who's on the verge for is really the question, I guess. Who's almost going to break out and do great things.
Huh?
Hook maybe.
Daiki Nagai.
Yeah, that might be good.
Yoda Suji.
And I think he's too big already. Let me see here. Um. Hmm. He reminds me of who was it? I feel like it was somebody in AEW. I'm scrolling through the AEW roster right now to try to remember who he gave me kind of vibes of. That I feel is kind of in a similar spot. Oh, it was Mike Bailey.
Okay, I can see that.
Very likable, athletic guy. Still has some good ground game. Ready to, I really think could break out with an opportunity like this. It was Mike Bailey. Best double feature. I mean, honestly, these two shows together were a great double feature. I liked watching them together. I'm probably all kinds of old Georgia Championship Wrestling, Mid Atlantic, just old territory stuff you could watch together. This isn't my best era, so I don't really know what would be great off the top of my head to watch with these, but they're great together. And anything for the Criterion Collection?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay. So, what is the classic hot dog, classic handshake? I'm gonna go with Brad Armstrong, Ric Flair. What about you?
I'm gonna agree with you and say that.
Okay, and then combined out of 10, what would you give these shows?
Like a 5.5.
That's exactly what I gave it to. That's back-to-back shows where we had the exact same rating. And then next week, kind of a more somber episode to celebrate 20 years since Eddie Guerrero's passing. We will be watching No Way Out 2004. So, you want to take us out?
Thank you for joining us for the Omni shows. They were a little bit different than we usually do. And as always, just enjoy wrestling.